Hello. I feel like we're doing a lot of these videos where we're just sitting on my desktop and I just have a bunch of images pulled up and I just talk about them. But today we are going to set the standard for 2025. So to explain what I mean, every single year at the beginning of it, I draw a fully illustrated piece, or at least what I would consider a fully illustrated piece for my skill level. I try as hard as I can to make the best piece possible, and then at the end of the year, I do the exact same thing in order to compare the beginning and the end and seeing how much I've improved in the 365 days that you're given. And honestly, it's just to look back, it's just to appreciate how much effort you've really put throughout the year, and also just to kind of revel in your practice, your hard work. Because I think even though I like being negative about my art pieces and being realistic about them, I once in a while do need to just sit back and enjoy the fact that, yes, despite how unhappy I am with it, I still did progress. And this is a good way of doing that. So, for example, in 2023, these are the two pieces I had. Now, I started on October 19th because that's when I decided to actually start studying art. And this was the best piece I could come up with in the beginning of it all. This was the end of the year. So, not much of an improvement, but I guess a slightly more exciting pose. What you really want to look at, though, is 2024. So, this was the first piece of 2024. This is me pushing as far as I could go, my knowledge of anatomy, my knowledge of construction, and attempting to do some sort of a background. And this is the final full illustration I have for 2024. And if I could just sit down and pat myself on the back just a little bit, I think I did good. I'm very proud of how much progress I've made. I'm very proud of how much time I've taken out of the day to practice, to work on art, to work on a hobby, to actually progress. And I'm very happy that despite my starting point and despite how much has gone throughout the year, I've kept consistent with my goal, which was to improve in art. And obviously, I didn't do every resolution. Like I wanted to make backgrounds more, but clearly I didn't do that. It's still in this poster-esque style. But in general, I am happy with the finalized piece. I mean, we went from zero coloring to something that I would consider a pretty solid baseline, at least. But we're not here to revel the entire way through the video in my 24 art progression. We're here for the start of 2025. What are we looking forward to in the upcoming year that we have? So literally about 41 minutes ago at 1 a.m., I finished my first fully illustrated piece of 2025. And this is what I would consider the baseline. This is the best I can produce currently at my skill level. This piece right here. Now, some might consider it to be a downgrade. There's a lack of color, but in my opinion, I love line work. I love penmanship. I love stuff like that. I do love color, but it's not a skill that I'm particularly, what can I say? I particularly prioritize by any means. I just like line work. I love manga. I love reading manga ever since I was a kid, so I've always had a priority in learning line work. But this, if I push myself, is the best I could do. The line work, the character in a slight foreshortened pose, a background in 1 point perspective. This is probably in every single aspect, disregarding color, the best I can produce. Now, the goals that I have in mind for 2025 is essentially this, but on a much larger scale. I want to depart away from this poster-esque pinup style of art, and I want to get more into drawing scenes, scenery, a cityscape with a couple subjects sprinkled out. Definitely the subjects taking a bit of a backseat comparative to the actual background being the main forefront of the art piece. I want to get used to drawing stuff like that because to me that seems so wonderful to be able to create essentially a moment of the world in my own little art style of whatever I choose to draw, whether it be a house, a store, a neighborhood block, a little bit of a landscape. I feel like that would be so fun and so enjoyable if I've actually learned to do that. And I would even like to add, if I could add just a splash of color in there, get a little bit of progression in my color and the way I color. Because even though I'm very happy with my progression last year, going from essentially zero to what I consider a solid baseline, I'm definitely far from satisfied from where my color is. So that's really it. Those are my goals for 2025. It's to mainly draw more backgrounds, larger backgrounds, and definitely draw more pieces that are considered scenery, atmospheric maybe. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for sitting down and listening to me rant the entire time about my own personal goals in 2025. But if you would like to follow me throughout the entire year, please subscribe if you'd like to. If not, no worries. But I'm just saying, I am considering streaming more often this year. So if you don't want to miss those out, while I draw live, pop me a little bit of a subscription, and it's free. You can ring the notification bell. But besides that, take good care. Have a wonderful day, and Happy New Year. I guess it's about time I say that. It's the ninth now, but hey.